Off-season training for snowboarding too. What type of ability does your body need for snowboarding? In the first video of this series, you learned that working on just your physical training is not the best way to maximize your training. Two other factors should be combined with physical training to improve your snowboarding: food and nutrition, rest and recovery. Since the first video is fundamental, you should keep remembering the lessons learned while training. In this video, we will focus more on physical training. This is just my perspective, but most training videos for snowboarding don't do a good job explaining how physical training affects your snowboarding. I've coached many athletes with sports trainers, and the training programs were just like what we can see on YouTube. The fact is, by focusing just on physical training, we couldn't see certain results when applying this method to snowboarding, as certain muscles couldn't be used properly while snowboarding. Then, I noticed that physical training must be just as practical as training while snowboarding. Okay, now let's see how we can use our body while snowboarding and reflect its analysis into physical training. This video won't introduce certain exercises, but will give an overview of this training program. Before starting, you should understand why you need to work on physical training. Here are 3 reasons: injury prevention, endurance fitness, and performance improvement. No one wants to hurt themselves while snowboarding. If you had a body that will never get tired, wouldn't that be great? It's obvious if you can keep improving, snowboarding will be much more fun. Physical training will support all these wishes for you, so why don't you start it? Now, let's look over physical training for snowboarding. You will be introduced to the following training factors in this video, which are needed in all snowboarding: flexibility, balance and stability, endurance, speed and power, motor coordination, and reaction speed. You should have heard those words before, but might not know how to gain these fitness skills with training. Now, let's begin. Flexibility. If you are more flexible, you will get a wider range of motion. A wider range of motion will improve your balance adjustment. Thus, you won't be off balance as easily and will reduce chances to hurt yourself as well. A flexible body will improve your performance because it will be easier to execute the more difficult postures and movements. Thus, flexibility is the fundamental fitness skill to prevent injuries and to upgrade your performance. You should work on stretching for all joints such as your neck, shoulders, wrists, hip joints, and ankles. Balance. Since snowboarding is a balancing sport, this skill should be trained throughout the year. You will need this skill while your snowboard is touching the ground and while in the air too. As we mentioned in another video, you should be good at the following 4 types of balances while riding the slopes: toe to heel, nose to tail, vertical, and rotational. You can improve these 4 balances while standing on unstable obstacles and by adding actual snowboarding movement into it. The easiest way to improve your balance for your snowboarding is having fun while skateboarding. But skateboarding alone is not enough to gain a better balance while snowboarding if you want to hit jumps. Balancing in the air is different from balancing while riding the slope because you don't have the base of support while in the air. If you have a trampoline facility around, it's great for airborne practice. But the environment around you will be good enough to train your aerial sense if you are spinning just on the side hit or smaller park jumps while riding the hill. Endurance. If you could keep riding without fatigue the whole day, Wouldn't that be great? When we talk about endurance in snowboarding, you should know there are two types: muscular endurance and cardiovascular endurance. When you keep turning hard for a few minutes, your legs will be pumped, for example. This state is when you feel fatigued on certain muscles, and this is where you want the muscular endurance. Muscular endurance is about how long your muscles can keep flexing. You have two types of muscles on your body: red and white. White muscles work when you need instant power and speed, but only for a limited time. Red muscles don't have power and speed, but since these muscles will shrink slower, it works great when you need to keep flexing. Therefore, red muscles are what you need to keep turning and so on. By strengthening your red muscles, you create more energy that breaks down fats and sugar to an energy source called ATP. Therefore, your endurance fitness will be improved. Some research reported that inner core muscles have more red muscles, as it keeps supporting your body standing straight. Big muscles, such as the latissimus and quadriceps femoris, contain about 50% red muscles as well. Red muscles are thin fiber groups, so they won't be built up by training, but you will gain long-lasting muscles. Red muscles can improve by light weight training with more repetition, for example. Even if your red muscles improve, it won't guarantee that you can ride all day without having fatigue. Your red muscles are ready to receive more blood with oxygen by improving your capillary density at this point. But how can you send more blood to your red muscles? You should improve cardiovascular endurance by improving the functions of your heart and lungs. This means muscular endurance and cardiovascular endurance must improve together. The more oxygen you can send to red muscles, the longer you can keep snowboarding. You won't get tired as easily, thus, you can keep concentrating, and you can reduce your chances of getting injured too. Usually, these combined skills are best improved when jogging, biking, and interval training. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and feel free to leave your comments below. Watch all our tutorials by subscribing to the online training program from our website. Thanks for watching. Snowboard Dojo Wiz, your snowboard coach from Canada.